Hey, what is up guys, Marcy here, back to do another video, and today I've got a game on Hampstead Gardens featuring me playing as the vanilla Nod and my opponent will be playing also as the same faction. This is not your typical Nod mirror however, and you're going to see just why in this game. This is Green Zero's map we're playing on, and the spikes have once again shifted locations. The second spike, as you see, is down in the bottom, no longer situated in the corners of the map. Now, this makes it easier to defend against disintegrator pushes early on. But in this game, one versus Nod. Though I'm not entirely sure just yet because everyone chooses to pick random. I feel random mirrors aren't all that balanced because you never know if you're going to get a matchup that is very unfavored. But just as you saw on Tournament Creator, even in the worst situations, you can come up with new ideas and tactics. And yeah, that dev Gunwalker push, very potent against Traveler 59 as Skrin. Probably less so as Reaper 17 due to the lack of that transition. But as Reaper, you do have the Blue Shard Eradicator Hexapod. Put those Ravagers in the Hex, upgrade Blue Shards, and you'll see your Hexapod shoot blue shards, and that is a significant deal against Traveler and any Skrin faction because they have weaker resistance to gun damage, and the increase in DPS is substantial in that case, about 80%. It is no joke. But of course the Ravager hardpoint is very expensive. I made it this way because yes, Ravagers are expensive, but if you did a Ravager oriented strategy early on and you've got several squads left over, then putting them in your Hexapod becomes very appealing. Those squads, keeping them alive while you can't replace dead squad members, can always be recycled in your Hexapod for those amazing hardpoint upgrades as we mentioned. So going for Eco, this is a typical opening at this point in time. 2042 that says, I'm not sure what Green Zero is referencing there. Is it the game Battlefield for 2042? I think he's a big fan of the Battlefield franchise, so we can presume that is the case. If there's everything I haven't done in this game, it is making maps. No, I do lie. I made a couple maps, but that was like in 2007, and they were very bad casual maps. They were dreadful, absolutely dreadful, guys. It's embarrassing. But believe it or not, the maps I made in 2007 were popular. People played them and continued to play them for many years after. I have no idea why. But yeah, that was my beginnings, making maps, casual maps. We were all there at one point. Though maybe Bycrush wasn't. Maybe he went straight into competitive RTS as soon as he started it. Sadly for me though, this militant squad is getting some major value on these rockets. I want to garrison the middle of this map because it's going to deny easy passage through the middle of the map with bike buggies. You're going to have to make some garrison clearing units. It's going to be very tricky for him to engage these rockets. I've got rockets in there. He may not have paid attention though, so it remains to be seen if he chooses to go in the middle of the map. It is a very unorthodox thing to do, garrisoning that area with units, but I'm paying attention to those bike buggy. Going for a Hand of Nod here too. I can also build laser turrets, which are effective. They received a number of nerfs over the years because they were buffed tremendously by CGF at one point. He doubled the rate of fire, and needless to say, that made them overpowered. It made Nods invulnerable to early game rushes. It was not a healthy thing for the meta game. So I'm going for bike buggy, both of us doing the exact same thing at this time. But I'm differing in my strategy in that I'm garrisoning up these buildings with rockets, so that if both of us go for this bike buggy tactic, if it only takes him to go into one of my garrisons for me to have the upper hand, I'm going to be able to kill one or two of his units for free, and it's going to allow me to get an advantage. So I'm not going for any upgrades for my inf, despite me having lots of infantry, but he's going for the EMP control center. He's trying to take it out, but he's getting shot at from those 2 garrisonable buildings, and I'm going to respond in kind with my bikes, and the EMP control center is going to live in the process as well. So that gambit going for the EMP control center was a great one from me, and I'm going for the Scorpion tanks, getting the upgrade for them as well, the Dozer Blades. But yeah, it's not going to be a huge Scorpion tank transition. I can go for the lasers, but we're going to see what happens from this point on. A nice win there from me, but we both traded a lot of our bike buggy in the process. I kept my EMP around, which was nice. That has a lot of health. But we see he's now got a lot of Scorpion tanks. Both of us have comparable armies. Going for the... I'm actually going for Vertigos at this point. It was just a really weird transition option, but I deemed with the Vertigo bombs dropping faster than ever that they could be effective against Scorpions. Makes no sense going for laser venoms in this point of time. Gonna focus down those bikes. We see a flame tank over on the right hand side. That's good about garrisoning these buildings. I can see things coming a mile away. That flame tank could have killed me, could have killed my refinery, and then Catalyst missiled the other one. Speaking of Catalyst, I'm working on a Tiberium chemical plant. I'm not going to use that to destroy his refs. Hopefully he hasn't put them too close together. Bikes will scout his base for those refineries. Now I did make a small mistake there in putting my chemical plant next to the refinery, so if he has a chemical plant of his own, he can click both of those structures. The chemical plant is susceptible to the catalyst, will be destroyed. So I'm going to see what I can target here. We can see his refs are very close together. My decal, my remade decal, white radius is a very precise indication of what you can hit. But in this case, I was only able to get one refinery. There's no guesswork. The decal tells you everything. Vertigos are now out for me. I can EMP those Scorpion tanks and aim effectively with the Vertigos. I used the Vertigo there to click in between. Now I'm going to combo the EMP with the Vertigos. You see several of those tanks stacking up, and that's going to allow my Vertigos to do huge damage. But is it enough? That's the question. It's going to be enough for my Scorpion tanks to move in and finish off those low health tanks, though. I'm going for avatars behind this. I've had enough of the laser Scorps. I deem avatars are the way to go. They have way more staying power compared to Scorps. Way more health, and they're going to be an effective unit. And the Scorps will have to stop and shoot them in the process, which will give my Vertigos opportunities to target them. But I am still committed to targeting these tanks. I am looking to target the ground between these tanks and get as many of them as possible in that area of effect. A lot of them are really stacked together. And just look at that DPS there. Many of those tanks almost falling. Vertigos forcing his army back. So yeah, Vertigo's moving in now. I'm going to keep up this assault because he's going to respond with Venoms. There's no question about it. There's going to be Venom spam. So I need to capitalize on this right now. I also summon in the Mind Drop power in his field. He's distracted. His Redeem is taking damage. So he may not see the Mind Drop heading to his expansion fields. Now he will hear the Harvest under attack alert. So he might look back there. The avatars are doing so much damage. Just 2 avatars falling there. But I was able to force back this army. Flame tank comes in. Luckily I was looking at that. The beauty of being Nod is you can stealth your base. That time I didn't. Now I've got avatars. And the neat thing I can do is equip them with the bike attachment, and that'll give me stealth detection. It's a very good upgrade for the avatars. The radius is significant. Only now I'm going to get down my refinery on the expansion. I'm always late to the party when it comes to expansions. He's ahead of me in that regard. Vertigo's burning up though because they don't have anywhere to land. But I'm the one going for these heavy armored units. He's got Venoms. I need to build buggies in response to that. I'm building buggies. 1 to EMP his Redeemer, and 2 to kill the Venoms, because once upgraded with laser capacitors, their AA is insane compared to not having that upgrade. So once again, the 4 Vertigos are heading out. Venoms, if they decide to chase, the Vertigos will take huge losses on the retreat. So I see his Venoms are focused on that spike, which gives me an opening here. I see those harvesters which were already pre-damaged from those mines earlier on, and I'm just causing so much economic damage with those Vertigos. Now I could have stuck around there and got more damage dealt, but I knew he would turn his Venoms back, so I had to just not be too greedy. He's gonna respond by moving his Venoms as soon as I reveal my Vertigos, so I have to just anticipate him doing that and not sticking around there for a long period of time. He should have got a war factory on his tip field to repair those harvesters. Venoms will find some of the Vertigo bombers, decide not to chase, and now I'm going for Venoms myself. And because I knew he's going for Vertigos, I saw some of his air tower landing pads were occupied by Vertigos, so that's how I knew. And buggies don't detect stealth, so I need Venoms in this case. They have the speed, the maneuverability to take on those Vertigos. So not only am I going for Vertigos, but he is as well. I'm going to trace one of them down. I have to be very careful though, because he has a significant Venom advantage, and I'm not sure if that was worth it for me per se. 2 of my Vertigos have been taken out. He is looking to be in a good position despite losing several engagements. He's had that expansion up longer. He's harvested more Tiberium than me. You see he's got no tib left. I have half a field of Tiberium. I've been considerably more cost effective, but he's not out of it just yet. He's got an army, but no Tiberium. He may have a field of Tiberium in his main if he let it regrow. What you can do is just tell your harvesters not to go back there, and after several minutes the field will be full of tip crystals once again for you to harvest.
What is it? All right.
8 Venoms. Don't want to overspend. You see a lot of players go for a mass Venom strategy, but the whole reason I built them in the first place was to just defend my avatars against the Vertigo bombers. If not for the Vertigos, I would not have gone for the Venoms. There's a lot of avatars for me. Some of them should be equipped now with the bike attachment so I can detect stealth, which I'm about to do here. The detection radius on those avatars is more than the vanilla patch. But in vanilla it was a joke. It wouldn't detect in a very large radius at all. Vertigo's heading out here. I mean, at most I can kill a Scorpion tank with this. It's better than nothing. I kill a tank, goes elite. These Vertigos have paid off massively for me in this game. Venom's going to sweep in there. We're going to take out some more of those tanks. The DPS is not particularly high. I'm looking at his Venoms and he's going to respond to mine. That's why I'm positioning my buggies to intercept. Redeemer is out for him, but I have a strategy in dealing with it. Now what Redeemers tend to do often is they rage gen while you're approaching them with Raider buggies to EMP, but there is a trick to circumvent this, and that is to waypoint EMP. So he rages, but the command has already been given. The buggies will get to their destination, then fire off the EMP. So even though he used his rage, I've already set in the EMP. That's how I was able to get that Redeemer locked down. And it's revealing its rear armor here, so my avatars are going to do huge damage. Redeemer falls very quickly, but I have to watch out for those mines. Avatars are right in the middle of them. And the buggies are just continuing to fire off those EMPs. Barracks coming down, so there is a real risk here of him capturing back those husks. So what I decide to do is prevent this by summoning in the Zip Vapor Bomb. This will prevent saboteurs from being made, plus due to the positioning of my chemical plant, the spawn was not too far away from the action. Vertigo's continuing to do damage. Re-stealths and goes back to base. Now, this Redeemer, it needs anti-infantry, and one recent patch change is the Redeemer's machine gun has more damage now. So I deemed, okay, it's just infantry. I have plenty of avatars. What I need is anti-infantry. So what I decide to do is I put infantry in the Redeemer. I can sell off practically anything and get that machine gun turret. I'm going to do that just now. Plenty of avatars. He can no longer contest me in avatar count. I use the C-type room. That's something you should constantly recycle and use when you can. And this Redeemer now has that dual machine gun inside. Venoms are a problem, but not for my Raider buggies. Redeemer pushing forward. I can just crush those avatars. And the Vertigus can only attack units from the rear. Its tail gun functions much like a tail gun in real life. I did rework that, and the model animation turret works as it should. Anyways, that is another game on Hampstead Gardens. I thought it was an interesting game to showcase because it highlighted vertigos in the knob mirrors, something you rarely see, because once the buggy are gone, what are they going to do to stop the vertigos? Yeah, Venoms, but Venoms themselves are pretty weak to buggies. And I just like that rock, paper, scissors mechanic. And I really like knob mirrors, but when knob mirrors don't involve scorch spam and spamming one unit all game, it can be very fun to play, and I enjoy it in that case. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching this game. If you enjoyed the game, don't forget to hit the like button. I'd really appreciate that. And thank you to my patrons for supporting me and my channel and keeping this game active. Anyways, guys, this is it from me, Master Leaf. Peace out.